Good morning, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching this. For me, it's just before 7 a.m. on a Tuesday in June, and I wanted to sit here with you and share my experience of the unboxing of the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. Now, I was very excited to receive this oracle, but also a little disappointed. Not because of the oracle itself. I know it's going to be fantastic. I've seen a few previews of the cards, and they look great. I own the other 3 versions that are out as of the recording of this video. The only reason I'm disappointed is because it came out this summer, and the 3 editions that were out previously before this one were the Samhain Oracle, the Beltane Oracle, and the Yule Oracle. So fall, spring, and winter. So I was hoping that this was going to be a summer deck to kind of round out those 4 seasons. I don't particularly celebrate the Wheel of the Year, but I like to use the seasonality, the energy of the decks, because I am very much into that kind of seasonal transition. And I love summer. So I'm a little sad. And there's also a second one coming out this year, which is another winter one. So we'll have a spring, 2 fall, 2 winter, and no summer. And that makes me sad. But all of that aside, I'm very excited to dive into this. I mean, I do love fall as well. I mean, if I had to pick 2 seasons, it would be summer and fall as my favorite. So I'm not like totally upset, but you know, it just would have been nice to like round out that balance. But enough about that. Let's get into this. So one of the things I adore about these decks is that they're all have the foil, so each deck has a different colored foil, and this one appears to be orange, which makes sense for the fall season. So grab yourself a beverage. We're gonna really kind of take it slow through these cards. I'm gonna sit here and like explore them with you. So if you're just looking for a soul flip through of the cards, please refer to the chapters or the timestamps below and skip ahead if that's all you would like to see. Otherwise, let's get chatty and dive in. So it says, celebrate the autumn equinox with the energy of Mabon and give thanks for the abundance of Mother Earth, both literally and spiritually. Mabon honors the earth in its celebration of balance, equality, and harmony as the Wheel of the Year comes full circle. Mabon is a good time to set intentions, release tension, and set new personal goals. The cards in this oracle offer intuitive messages rather than invocations. They align with your energy, helping you to unlock your inner wisdom with the assistance of powerful spiritual forces. And I'm just curious if this says the same thing. No, it's different. And this description here is a lot less robust. Okay. I love the detail of these boxes. Like this detail, I usually don't care what the box looks like as long as it's like sturdy, but this detail with the star here in the thumb holes just like makes me so happy. Ooh, look at that. I love that this is like a burnt orange for the gilding. Apothecary cabinet. All right, I am already excited about that first card. There's the rock pool thing that we're gonna discard. So I like to take a peek at the guidebook first, and then we'll go through each of the cards. To find enlightenment, seek nowhere, for it lives within you. I love that. So we have introduction, themes and areas of focus, how to use the cards, and the Mabon card spreads. I love the spreads. Okay, so this says Mabon is a good time to set intentions, release tension, and set new personal goals. However, on the first page here, it says, Mabon, the beginning of fall. This Sabbath represents balance, a slower pace, and evaluating your progress. But we also felt the need to highlight the warmth and coziness of autumn days, so we were intentional about focusing more on the darker, richer tones of the fall season. Which is exactly the vibe I expected from this deck. So it really threw me off when it said set new personal goals. It bugs me when things don't match. Probably why I should never read the box. Okay. It says, when we began work on this deck, we decided to prioritize spiritual self-care, specifically care around establishing boundaries, surrendering to changes, and letting go of what no longer serves. There's a lot to be said about what's comfortable and familiar, but we can't let what was prevent us from experiencing all that is possible. I love that. Ooh, I love these illustrations. To be honest, guys, I'm not like the biggest fan of the other illustrations in the decks. Like, I like them, but I'm not like my favorite art style ever. But something about this. No. I'm gonna cry. Okay, so I wanted this to be just like a relaxing, this is amazing type of unboxing, but okay. One of my favorite things about these cards is there's like a little mini, they call them invocations, but little like mini poems, and I didn't quite click as to what they were talking about when I read that on the back. Let's find one that's actually good. Here we go. Crone. Thy wisdom befriends the honor in which weaves within blood, a harrowing call from the depths of your sacredness. Like, to me, that was my favorite part of these decks. Here it says, we've received a myriad of messages from beginners who have said this was their very first deck, and what an honor that was to receive. We also know there are many who are longtime readers who prefer to read their cards without the guidebook. I do. And then they go on to say, so we've shifted from invocations to mini messages. The invocation as the mini message was my favorite part of reading these cards intuitively. I'm so upset. Oh my god. Each card face includes a mini intuitive message that was written by Juliet to give you a glimpse of the card's meaning. This is an excellent way for beginners to start to intuitively read without relying on the written guidance of this booklet. For those of you who read for others, the mini messages, in addition to the keywords, offer a reference guide for you to expand upon in your own words. I don't even know if, I just want to send it back. Like, what? Like, the best part about these cards, besides the gilding, was like the thought-provoking, like juicy poems on the bottom of the card. I have plenty of Oracle decks that have like a mini message on it. Like, that's very standard. I liked it because these decks were different, because they had the poems, and because to me, reading those intuitively for myself was way more enriching than having some other prescribed generic meaning. Maybe I'll like it, but I'm really upset. All right, we're just going to dive into the cards. Not even bother with the rest of the guidebook at the moment, because right. Sometimes the gilding sticks, so we're just gonna... I just like to bend the... Although it doesn't sound like this is sticking. Alright, these don't seem like too far off. Just from the few that I glanced at. So maybe it's gonna be okay. But I'm like really upset. That's a whole... That's the whole fucking reason I love these. Is because of that thing on the bottom. Like, I probably wouldn't have bought them otherwise, honestly. Maybe the Samhain one, but like, I wouldn't have bought the other ones without those. I'm so upset. Alright. Apothecary cabinet. Without practice, without befriending them, they are strangers in your path. I feel like it also locks you into one meaning. Like, alright, when apothecary cabinet comes up, it means that I need to get more familiar with my tools. Now I'm boxed into that one meaning. So sad. Apple of my eye. I do love this art. I love all the little like bird skulls we got going on. I love the little like branches. The yellows in this are really nice. Apple of my eye. Not all that's alluring may be what it seems. See beyond the illusion. Again, this is implying that something's shady, whereas apple of my eye can also speak to like something you love super deeply. Oh, I love this. Kind of the transition between summer and fall. That's sweet. I'm not even going to read the bottoms. We're just going to look at the art. Breathwork. Cacao. Cacao! Sorry. Campfire. Coming of darkness. I love the scenes. And like the folk art feel. It's like modern folk art. Oh my god, the little skeleton hand. That's amazing. And all the crows. And the wispy things. Oh, I love that there's like branches in her hair with stars. I feel like this must have some sort of legend associated with it. Because she looks like she's pouring down water onto the fields where they're harvesting the cranberries. But as like a, almost like a goddess figure or something. Keywords. Ancestral roots, connections, power, claiming or reclaiming. Devour the truth and let it sink into the depths of all that came before and all that will come after. Your higher self chose this card because your ancestors are waiting for you. The red color of cranberries instantly brings to mind the blood connection of an ancestral healing, and it is through your ancestors that intuitive wisdom is passed down. They wait patiently for you to connect with them, so they can offer the wisdom, strength, and power that is available to you right via the blood within your veins. You don't need a connection with your living relatives to establish a bond with your ancestors. They are available to you even if you don't know their names, faces, or the details of your family tree. You will recognize them through a feeling of comfort and familiarity. Offer up your troubles and ask for ancestors' support. They will clear away blocks, Push away the dark clouds looming over your life and open the floodgates of abundance. To establish this bond with your ancestors, simply close your eyes and offer up your prayers. Ask that only the benevolent, loving ancestors seek you out, then speak with them as you would any other guide, the universe, God, or godlike figure. So why did we call it cranberries, and why didn't we just call it ancestor? Just curious. Okay. Crow, loving it. Again, I love these bird skulls. And we have the eyeballs and the apples again. And the little skeletal hands. Darkness falls. Oh, I like this one. Within you live the hidden things, the things that want nothing more than to swallow you whole. Elderberries. There it is, a knowing within bone. Allow it to guide you. What? Okay, to me, elderberry is associated with like fortification, immunity, boosting of the body. And here it implies bone deep knowing. Wisdom, crone energy, learning from experience. One of the things I love about these decks in the past was that if you got something like elderberry, there would usually be something in the guidebook explaining the uses of elderberry, or maybe a recipe you could do with elderberry. Something like that. Like here we have divination tea spell for the tea magic. So there are still some things. But elderberry just has like the most generic meaning that doesn't even feel like it's connected with elderberry. Oh, I guess elder. Okay, elder makes sense. JK, don't listen to me. Moving on. Falling leaves. Fun. Fire cider. Foraging. Ghost Whisperer. That's an interesting grieving card. Ooh, Harvest Moon. The best thing about these cards is the art, which is hilarious because in the other decks, my favorite thing was everything but the art. So now the tables have turned. Harvest Witch. Haunted House. Kitchen Witchery. Maple Tree. Meat and Wine. Molasses. Mountain Cabin. Peppers. Pomegranate. Pumpkin Spice and Apple Cider. Queen of the Dead. Heck yeah. Reaper. Oh, that's so disappointing. It looks like a doll's face. Not my favorite. Root vegetable. She would have made a better Reaper. Scarecrow. Shape-shifting. Love shape-shifting. St. John's wort and marigolds. Straw bale. Tea magic. Oof. That toad. Something about all the green. I love that. Tobacco. Whiskey. Witch's gathering. Witch's rosary. And wool. And I love the crows on the back. Okay. We're going to do a deck interview with this because of my hang-ups with it, basically. I love the art in this one. The artwork in this one blew me out of the water. I love the actual, like, keywords, all of the themes for the cards that they chose. As you know, real salty about the poems. I call them poems. The poems on the bottom of the cards that are no longer there. I get it that they're trying to, like, appeal to, like, the masses. And, you know, maybe if I and more people like me who liked the invocations on the bottom were the type of people who would have reached out to them like these noobs did. Not that I'm, like, upset about the newbies. Like, I think it's amazing that so many people are coming to divination. It's great that this was the gateway for those people. However, there are so many beginner friggin' decks out there, and to take away what makes this one more layered just because there are new people finding them is not okay. It's not okay. Okay. Let's look at this spread. What do we got? Darkness falls and magic stirs. Brownie points if you know what that's from. And it has nothing to do with witchcraft. So it seems pretty generic. We do have quite a few spreads here. So we have 2 suggestions for 2-card spreads. Suggestions for 3-card spreads. The Celtic Cross, which they renamed with a cute name, but it's still the Celtic Cross. Falling Leaves spread. Oh, this one sounds perfect for this particular thing that I'm trying to get out of this. Let's look at the rest first, though. Darkness Falls spread. Kind of looking at shadow work, it seems. Molasses spread. Where Are You Stuck? That's a good one. Elderberries spread. This spread is like a 2-for-1 concept. Ask yourself the question, is now a good time to move forward with my goals? Then pull a card to see whether you move forward with your plans or whether you need to wait a while. If the answer appears to be yes, proceed with the first spread. If the answer appears to be no, proceed with the second spread. That's cool. And Maple Tree spread, which seems cool. Okay, they get brownie points for the unique spread ideas. So I'm going to take a second to read the rest of the guidebook now that I've cooled my jets a bit. There's only a couple pages left, and then we'll jump into this Falling Leaves spread to kind of interview the deck. All right, so that was a little boring. Okay. Moving on. So the Falling Leaves spread says this spread will help you understand your spiritual blocks, which, you know, clearly I'm having a block with this deck, which prevent you from experiencing success and growth. Often you don't even know that they're there. Use this spread when you know something is in the way, but you aren't sure what or how to overcome it. Card number 1 is the current energy. Card number 2 is what is preventing you from experiencing success. Card 3, what is this block trying to teach you? Card 4, how can you overcome this block? And card 5, the outcome if you follow this advice. So, I'm going to tweak this a little bit and do it as like an interview to the deck as to how I can get over this block of the poems being gone and this being watered down, basically. That's what happened. It got watered down for the masses, which, as a Scorpio, really grinds my gears. Okay. Just kind of connecting in with the deck's energy. Trying to put my personal hang-ups aside. What is a card that represents the current energy between us? What is preventing us from experiencing potential success together? What is this hang up, this block that I'm perceiving? What is it here to teach me? We got 2. How can I overcome this hang up? What can I do to overcome this hang up? If I can overcome this hang up, how are we going to work together? On the bottom of the deck, we have Apothecary Cabinet, which without practice, without befriending them, they are strangers in your path. All right. I see you. I see you. We're already speaking, so this is, we're on a good track here. Trying to hold this open. Just not. Okay. The current relationship between us. Corn maze. Although your path is unclear, it is there waiting for your faith to lead you. Which makes sense, right? I feel like I've been tricked almost. Like I feel like there's a layer of deceit and I have to find my new way with this deck. I thought I knew the way, but now I have to like start over. And we have to get to know each other from a place of not knowing. All right, what is my current hang up? Breath work. As you allow your breath to expand as you breathe. What? Allow your breath to expand your spirit and fill your heart. So what is my current hang up? Breath work. Well, to me, those poems that were at the bottom, or invocations or whatever they called them, that was to me the breath of fresh air. Like the fact that that was what made these decks different was a breath of fresh air. And now I feel like that breath is gone. Okay, card 3. What is this block trying to teach me? We have pomegranate. Dare to taste the unknown. Let it seduce your spirit awake. And mountain cabin. There are times when solitude can be healing and enlightening. So with the pomegranate, I feel like this is speaking to allow myself to be seduced in a different way by this deck. Like, it's unknown because the flavor is a little different, but my lesson is to allow it to have its own voice in its own way. This mountain cabin one, though, I'm not quite sure what that's trying to tell me is as it pertains to this message. So let's see what the guidebook has to say. Disconnecting, solitude, and hermiting. Your higher self chose this card because there are too many things influencing your life, and some time to yourself to listen to your inner spirit is exactly what you need. Most friends and family have the best intentions when offering their advice, but they can also speak from their experiences and do not have a full understanding of your life story. Even those closest to you, such as siblings, parents, or best friends, won't know everything about you, why you've made certain choices, or the goals you daydream about. Your soul is guiding you through this card to disconnect from the world so you can find the best pathway forward without the pollution of other people's opinions. So I guess that's saying that the lesson from this whole issue is basically the same thing I was getting out of the poems. It's just in a different way. Because I felt like the poems on the bottom of the cards allowed me to interpret things for myself. But I feel like this is inviting me to do that on an even deeper layer, especially since I like the art, whereas in the other editions, it wasn't my favorite part. So just an invitation to a new layer by ignoring what's underneath, which I do with most Oracle decks anyway, but here we are. How can I overcome this block? Firesider. Dwell in the medicine that exists. So take it for what it is, basically. Like, the deck has its own spice, its own flavor, its own medicine. So just, like, take it for what it is. And then our outcome together. Oh. Okay. One of my indicator numbers for myself is 17. This Falling Leaves spread that I did is on page 17. And the card as our outcome together is 17. So clearly we're meant to work together, right? Like, there's no better feeling than having gone after what you desire. So somehow, even though I see this as something that I'm really upset about, it's going to end up being exactly what I need at this time, and I just need to trust that. And in the end, the deck is excited to help me bring all of those things into being as a result of that. Which I can get behind. I'm going to give her a fair shot. Before I write my review. All this aside, you know, I'm really upset and salty about this and the fact that they changed it. But really, the fact that these creators are even taking on such a large project to do 8 decks together, and decks that are, you know, 44 cards each, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of pieces of artwork. That's a lot of guidebook messages to write. It's a lot of, you know, keywords to come up with without repeating between decks. So I'm not saying that, like, they did a terrible job. Like, I love their choices for this deck. I adore the color palettes. I love that they're allowing themselves to evolve as the practice goes and trusting kind of where that's going for them. I understand that the widening their market is good for them because it allows them to, you know, create more abundance through their creations, which they absolutely, you know, deserve to do. And I'm happy for them for that. But it just disappoints me because of the depth. I feel like the depth has been stripped away. But I'm excited to discover, hopefully, a new depth within these cards in a different way, aside from the little invocations. And you guys, this color palette, I am just like, I just keep wanting to like fanning it out. I'm obsessed with these yellows and like the gray blues and the dingy tans and the purples, and yeah, they nailed it with that. All right. So I am going to flip through, put these back in order and flip through them one more time. For those that we're going to skip ahead just to see the flip through so they don't have to listen to my chatting. But yeah, I thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed this little look into it. I hope that I wasn't too obnoxious with my whinging and my disappointments and all that, but it's important for me to, you know, share my honest opinions and my experience, and I'm interested in seeing how all of that evolves as I continue to work with the deck, which, you know, you wouldn't have gotten the full evolution of that without me, you know, expressing that to begin with. I feel like I often am like, oh, I love this deck so much, it's amazing, blah, 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 and like, I think it's important to see those decks where I'm like, WTF. Which you did get a little taste of in one of my previous videos lately, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna put these in order, flick through them once again. If you're leaving me now, thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Do you have these? Are you excited that they took out the poems? Does it not bother you? Do you think I'm overreacting? Let me know. Let me know. And I'll see you again soon.